Hello and welcome to Springboard Virtual University. My name is Albert Okran, welcoming you on behalf of Team Springboard led by Comfort with the support of the entire crew. Springboard is your most inspirational show and the point of convergence for the greatest minds. So Springboard is brought to you by the Springboard Ratio Foundation and proudly sponsored by MTN Pulse, UMB Bank, the Enterprise Group with media support from the Multimedia Group and the Graphic Communications Group. So here we are in the gardens of KNUST hanging out with an absolute legend. Last week we spent some time talking to Agya Koo Nimo as part of our top 10 series. And if you've been tracking with us in this series, we've so far interviewed Moses K. Baden, Professor Odrigajepo, Reverend Daniel Obami-Tete. Number 4 was Dr. Okukwari Ampuma. The 5th was Uncle James Ibo White. The 6th was Bishop Patricia Sapo. Our number 7 was Professor Florence Dolphine. And then came Adiki Aiti as number 8. And number 9, Professor Ernest Aiti. Last week we hung out with Agya Koo Nimo, telling us the story of his life. And I was so enthralled that I didn't even ask him about his top 10. But guess what? I gleaned my own top 10 from the story of his life. Today we are back and back in style because we're going to find out now about his top 10 and a few other things that are very pertinent to our lives and lessons for the future. Let me welcome once again the man Agya Koo Nimo. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And thanks for the first interaction and the wonderful lessons. I tell you something, I learned about even the provocation of a friend strumming a few strings on the guitar and so much more that I would like to explore further. But today I want to zero in on the top 10 principles of your life. So far we've been hearing from different mentors, accomplished people about the principles that undergird their lives. What would be your own top 10 principles and how they've influenced your life?
1. Horace Greeley, a New York Times columnist, had this quotation: "Fame is a vapor, popularity is an accident, riches take wings. Only one thing endures: character."
So your number 1 would be character.
Concept of time.
So number 1 is character, saying that the only thing that endures is character.
Character, yeah.
Thank you.
Number 2, concept of time.
Why is it fascinating you?
In 1962, I went to Kuko Brownhafel just to meet with my father because I was traveling to Britain to study. And I asked him for his advice and his blessing. He said, for blessing, the very day you were born, I bless you. He said, "Papa, what about advice?" So, nothing. You are grown up with children. Then he said, "Do you have a wristwatch on you?" I said, "Yes." "Put it there just to listen and tell me what you hear." He said, "Papa, I hear k. That is time. When you are born, you begin to die."
So that's the concept of time.
Time.
That means we should value time.
Oh, yes. It is. You can't bathe in running water twice. It washes and goes away. Time is life.
Right. Let's go to number 3.
Then, ABUSUA, family.
Okay. What about family fascinates you?
Family. Brad maybe traveled, made a lot of money. He wouldn't attend funerals. He would send money. But then his father died. And he would send invitations. Nobody attended. ABUSUA. Asem tufia, your ABUSUA penny amani. ABUSUA intention.
So value the people that God has
Oh,
sent.
yes.
Right. What is the role? I mean, you mentioned your father. Just take a minute on it.
Yeah.
You mentioned your father and his counsel in your life. Has family been a very strong pillar in your professional development? Yes. Tell me about it.
You see, we've nurtured Abuaji da Costa. Nana Abuaji da Costa. He's my brother.
Wow.
He's now the Bakuma Hene Udenchira. Bakumeja. Roxanne Amponsa, he played Madame Vupa and Annie Johnson's band. He played that solo.
Right.
It's my late brother.
Yes,
he played. He played that one.
Wow.
He's my rap brother.
Your father was a trumpeter?
My father was a trumpeter and a guitarist.
And your mother was a singer?
Yes, singing.
So it's in the family.
And my father, Django Reinhardt was a gypsy player. And once he was trying to save his wife, these artificial flowers. And all these three got burnt. He spent about 9 months without playing anything. And Django can use these two.
Still play guitar.
And my father was like Django because he was plugging cola nut. And his brother was just pulling with an implement. And it went straight into my father's arm. So my father had a similar thing. He was a great man.
So treasure the gift of family.
Yes, oh yeah. Then respect for men of valor and women heroines of valor.
Why is that important? In Greek mythology, there was a lot of emphasis on Achilles, King Agamemnon, the King Odysseus.
Marcus Caula.
Yes, there was a lot of emphasis on men of distinction, men of valor, women of valor, and their celebration. In contemporary Ghanaian life, is there a connection between this, and why is it important to celebrate achievement?
Yeah. When the Ashantis were engaged in the Denchira War, the traditional priest Konfanoche made demands for 3 chiefs to be sacrificed. Led the army and was shot dead. Nana Dikopi, then, was seated and hacked to death. And before he gave himself, he said, Opimso said to you, when you come over, baby, I say, I say, when you're eating, have a woman who Sabase, or may hear menam, Fonam, yeah, Bedimahuma. And I'm sure I'm making you shut at that.
You're saying that with tears in his eyes, he said, if the state needs my flesh, my flesh
hackled
as a sacrifice.
Hackled to death.
Right.
Number 3, Nana Asensukufu, he was buried alive.
Yeah, 2 different, very painful ways of sacrifice.
Then, Konfanoche told them that if Nana said to drop him, so she would lead the campaign. Ashantis will be victorious, but the victory will die of gun wounds after a week. We want another chief, and Nana Buanya and Ntio Mampong. Men of valor. Nana Yasa Tua, that Governor Hoshin, who was demanding the gold history. Yasa Tua. Mama chile prempe ko se she esikeja to mo bepe ye be ko nti wo ko hi ko asem na hi led the expedition fought. She was arrested, sent to Seychelles in a first-class cabin in the ship. Interesting. Number 5, education, especially for children.
Right. Why is that important?
About 6 years ago, Coco Amatefield floated an advert that they wanted people to apply in order to help education in the Danish government. Professor Atakwali gave me the forms. I applied and I won. I started Koo Nimo Cultural Resource Center And every Saturday morning, I had 27 children, free crayons, papers to draw. I told them stories. The children wouldn't tell the story, would paint or draw. That's to help stretch their imagination. And I'm trying to do the same in my village. Wow.
This is Springboard Virtual University. Today, gleaning the top 10 principles of Agya Koo Nimo. And if you just joined us, number 1 is character. Number 2, the concept of time. Number 3, family. Number 4, celebrate men and women of valor. And number 5 is education, especially for children. And it says, retain storytelling and proverbs in our education. Let's go for a break. When we come back, let's find out number 6 to number 10 from our guest for today, Agya Koo Nimo. Please don't go away.
Don't be left out. Download the Pulse app from the App Store or Play Store to mash up all day, every day. You can also enjoy more mashup. Just buy the new Mega Bundle and get 3 gigabytes data, extra 400 megabytes for your social apps, and free MTN to MTN calls every Monday. So go ahead, feel the pulse on MTN Pulse. Just be. We're good together. Everywhere you go.
There once was a man who had it all. He had skill, he had charisma. He was loved by all, but above all, he knew the importance of helping others, lifting others up. He knew the importance of giving other people an advantage so that they too would use that advantage to help others. All you need is that advantage that sets you apart from the rest. And when you discover that advantage, life's challenges don't seem so daunting anymore. That's where we come in. Enterprise, your advantage.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation. Over the past 45 years, we've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
I'm sorry. And I pay you to be I don't know. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yo. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I said. With the boss now, why? Or first, we need or first, I am young cock at the same. Sansa, Yari, you put down the ferry, my was 7. Yari,
Welcome back to Springboard Adventure University, hanging out today with Agya Koo Nimo. He shared his first 5 principles. Let's go on to principle number 6.
Self-discipline.
Right.
When I was in Imperial College, a chemistry PhD student presented his thesis. And Professor Daniel just read through the thesis. And I opened the last page. And he had not finished his thesis, but there was no full stop. So I drew Professor's attention. His PhD, this thing, was suspended for a year. I remember telling Professor Ketia, this was told his daughter, the historian, Agya Koo Nimo. And that is important.
Do you think that with your 40 years experience lecturing on this campus, would you say that there is a certain lack of attention to detail? Would you say that students sometimes leave things unattended or
Yeah.
pay enough attention to detail?
Yeah. One thing is spelling. They will write you. Having marking scripts, and if you were to mark English, nobody would pass. I think you should agree with me. I don't think they read, I don't know whether they use the dictionary now. Nana Okuwar gave me this advice. If you leave Ghana, travel to any foreign country, and you enter in the shop, buy 2 books, a good book, the Bible, and a dictionary. I have a Bible which was printed in 1896 as a gift to me for a friend in England.
Let's go on to number 7.
Number 7, respect for trees.
Oh, love.
You see, fresh air is the cheapest thing the Creator gave us. And trees convert carbon dioxide and give us oxygen.
It is interesting that you mentioned trees because we are having this interview right under the trees here in the garden. And this morning I had the privilege of just walking through town early in the morning, seeing the sunrise and just walking through the trees. And it was just quite a special experience. I mean, you see when the last tree dies, the last man dies. And this is called the Garden City for its greenery, even though we've lost quite a bit of the trees. But it's just such a special thing to have trees. And it just is great for me. So that will be your number 7. What will be number 8?
The old man plants coconut tree. Come back to it.
Okay, so still on trees, you want to explore the story of the old man planting
coconut.
Tell me that story.
An old man of over 90 was seen one morning planting coconut tree in his backyard garden. His grandson asked, "Nana, what you are doing puzzles me. You are 90 and over, and you are planting coconut tree, which takes quite a time to come to fruition. Do you think you will live to enjoy the fruits of your labor?" The old man smiled. "I know I wouldn't live to enjoy the fruits of my labor. And I'm planting the coconut tree, which takes years to come to fruition because of you and children unborn."
Wow. So some of these big lessons, do you find that they percolate into your music?
Yes.
So you compose based on some of these themes of your life. All right. When I finish your top 10, I'm going to ask you to select 2 of them that you've written about and then play the music. Okay. Is that okay?
Okay.
Wonderful.
Then,
but this is also about legacy, I believe.
Yes.
And that's what you're trying to do with the memorial center you're building for yourself and so on, to leave a legacy that will outlive you.
And knowledge transfer, all that.
Right. Let's go to number 8.
Number 8 is imitation.
Tell me the lesson in that one.
Okay. Professor Olusanya and the FESTAC in Nigeria, there were about 120 presentations. And this is Olusanya's, and I'm quoting. First, Julius Cole. The role of African historical consciousness in the development of contemporary African societies. A people's civilization is the sum total of the past and reactions to the present. It is a measure of the energy that has produced the individual. It is the worth of his background. It is the compute of the past weaknesses and strengths with fresh opportunities to share the one and assimilate the other. Julius Cole, Nigerian nationalist. Now, Professor Olusanya, the present is not the past, even though it contains essential elements of the latter. What we can do is to draw out general principles from past practices and usages, which may be usefully employed for the present. All we tend to do is to bring foreign cultural practices and institutions onto our soil, forgetting that ideas do not grow and develop as social forces or exercise their influence unless they are supported by social tradition and possess some vital communion with the particular society they seek to influence. It should be obvious that we cannot, as borrowers of other people's ideas and institutions, give full release to our creative genius. Imitation implies an inward perception, an approximation of a conformity in spirit, as well as in action. Unless the imitator imbibes the idiosyncrasy of those being imitated, he must remain an outsider. His attempts at imitation must be futile, and not only futile, but ridiculous, for there may be many features in the model that will escape him, the imitator. In our advancement in foreign culture and enjoyment, the splendor of foreign civilization, let us retain a remembrance of the debt we owe to the past, for therein lies the hope for tomorrow. Thank you.
I almost feel like clapping. What you're saying is that we should avoid wholesale importation of foreign culture,
Yes.
social practices, and thought patterns, lest in doing that we become borrowers of other people's civilization and ideas and abandon our own creative genius. You are the genius. You are the man. You are the man.
Thank you.
Wow. And that's number 8.
Number 8.
Let's go to number 9.
Then, number 9, religion.
Talk about religion.
I think I told you my story when I was in hospital. I had a visitor. Ko Eyarwai.
That's a very touching story. So it's about your personal faith in God. Tell me about your faith in God. I'm very curious. Tell me about how faith has undergirded you on this journey.
One, I was operated in Comfornoche by the late doctor, one of the doctors in Accra. And they told my mom that I would wake up around about 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock, 5, I was still asleep. So my mom spread the news that Dr. Fono Kumibano. Ya Kumibano. At 6, I woke up. And Mommy bye. I said, Mommy, Nyami ye Juma. And you may be akoso. I've had 15 children to my credit. I've lost 6. I've buried 6 of my children.
Oh, sorry.
But in each of them, I gave praise to my Creator. Let me give you a simple example.
Strong faith in
Yeah.
God.
This is a story about watermelon. Watermelon. An old professor was resting under a mango tree and talking to himself. So a young man who was just parading approached the old Nana. I don't know what I say. So I am going to DB one try. I said, look at the mango with the branches. Look at watermelon, the little things there. So the young man said, Nana.
And yet a big fruit.
If God in his wisdom had arranged that mangoes should bear watermelon, and while they were talking, a mango fruit
Fell down.
hit the old man's head. So the old man, Nana, you know Newton's law of motion. 32 feet per second acceleration. If watermelon had been a mango, so it will be the Yambe Biaye.
Wow.
To be the Michidias, maybe a Yam ever to be Biarano, if I. Oh God, thank you for the gift of another day.
Amen. Beautiful. Let's take your number 10.
Number 10, marriage.
Whoa. Tell me about marriage.
I already worry. Now, I have an interesting quote by a friend of mine, Dr. Budu. Every marriage is a unique journey of symbiosis and discovery by 2 individuals who are different from each other physically, emotionally, and sometimes culturally. They believe that they have sufficiently strong love and enough common interests for undertaking what they hope will turn out to be a lasting relationship, if not companionship. A marriage is a partnership in which the qualities of the pair, individually and reciprocally, should be used to strengthen each other so as to produce mutually soothing harmony, similar to playing the white and black notes of the piano. Regardless of the factors that bond the pair together, each is still an individual who with hopes and ambitions that both believe would ideally be better fulfilled in marriage than outside. That's what Buddha can. It's a friend of mine, read economics in Minnesota, went to Stanford, got his PhD, He sent all his publications to me as a gift. Now, my worry me no. Now, I remember my two wives. One is gone, one is alive. For their contribution to my life. The minimum do no. Now, also the anopa. Now you don't know the animal. Uko anu akobo. The anu krabi oba uni. Ade ye ma yan so anu aduane no wani. I congratulate my two wives. Our yenye. When two elephants have a brawl in the forest, it's the vegetation and everything, you know. Now, what is that idea? I do our idea, chile near Hunahuna, near Munumuna, near attended dear ABUSUA. Intimumbi and worry. Now, Cataraman or catcher as sin say. I say we a small boy. Me penny cheo. Who be the amena mbuane duane afi. Eso we are not coming. It's a story about an old man over 90 years old who was seen one morning planting coconut tree in his backyard garden. His grandson asked him, Nana, what you are doing puzzles me. You're over 90 and you're planting coconut tree, which takes many years to come to fruition. Do you think you will live to enjoy the fruits of your labor? The old man smiled. I know I wouldn't live to enjoy the fruits of my labor. And I'm planting the coconut tree for you and children unborn. Sakokro di nente dua kuba. Na branti also di na oye. Mito kakamio, mino kakamio. Kakamia po kwa mwasi anansio. Mito kakamio, mino kakamio. Kakamia po kwa mwasi anansio. Odom sesire kusi anansi mundom fwe. Nansi mundom fwe anansio. O kuya ai. Anansi mundom fwe anansio. Now, the title of the second song is ABUSUA, a song I wrote for my late wife. Odo akosomo, yedi ayawe, wasi ma yede nobu, obe matu apentena na yefreo. Was in my head no Jamina bo ABUSUA ne jamina bo if we walk na grasa oba pe jamina bo boy, jamina boy. I be na grass. Ibekwa mi nem juma se me beba mi nem juma se. You may even a bomb ya masasia jiritata. Nature ma bere koko ti sa hwini ebodomo. Jamina boy. Boboe ne jamina boe efwe wukwa na akorasa obata jamina bo ai boboe jamina boe ai nuya na agora. Thank you.
So here we are with Agya Koo Nimo's top 10 principles and food for thought for all of us. The big challenge. Which one is your favorite? And let's have this debate as always on social media. So number 1, character. Number 2, the concept of time. Number 3 is ABUSUA, family. Number 4, celebrate men and women of valor and distinction. Number 5, education, especially for children. Number 6, self-discipline. Number 7, respect for trees. Number 8, imitation. Beware of wholesale importation of that which is foreign. Number 9 is religion. He talks about his strong faith in God. And number 10 is marriage. The value, the worth of marriage, and how to treasure your partner. This has been Springboard Virtual University. Just listening to, interacting with, and benefiting from the life, the wisdom, and the experiences of Agya Koo Nimo. I want to say a big thank you to you, sir.
I don't know how to begin, but I would attempt a thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is a gift not for Koo Nimo, but for all musicians in this country. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for the lessons of your life. And for you out there, I want to say a big thank you to you for joining us in this discussion, this very blessed time of instruction and learning right here in the gardens in Kumasi. A big thank you to MTN Pulse, our sponsors, UMB Bank, the Enterprise Group, the Multimedia Group, and the Graphic Communications Group. So we come away again. My name is Albert Okran saying, God bless you, and God bless you.
Akomo, brekomo, sasa breko na puna mope. Akomo, brekomo, sasa breko na puna mope. Akomo ba madiache, obrekwe, anayeno. Akoba madiache. Akomo, brekomo, brekomo, sasa breko na puna mope. Akomo, brekomo, sasa breko na puna mope. Akoba madiache, obrekwe, enayeno. Akoba madiache. Okwadjufo kwatati anchen. Susuana kwan ne hunu nyansa. Tati ato santre fiada ho se duane disie pebre. Sutobre ba no ada. Efse onyansa fu biara bo no sie dadi. Akomo, brekomo, sasa breko nebu na mope. Akomo, brekomo, sasa breko nebu na mope. Akomo ba madiache, obrekwe, enayeno. Akomo ba madiache. Nana Jay di agromu, o Messi Madame Pai. Adam Ponimino. Kofi usi o free krapa, Messi Madame Pa. Adam Ponimino. Enko Messi, Jausi wa. Jame kwa mama kom koda dam go himno yane adam go himno nana je yodi agromu o mesi madam pai adam go himno. Agromu, o Messi Madame Pai. Adam Brunino, Enko Bessie, Jausie, wa, Ewa Rabum, Jame kwa mami kwa mkwada. Mkwada dampo yimino. Jame me dampo yimino. Oda kusumo. Yedi awo aye. Oda kusumo. Yedi awo aye. Wasima yedeno bo obe matu apentana na ye freo wasima yedeno bo odo akosomo yedi awo ae odo akosomo yedi awo ae wasima yedeno Obema to a printer and I am frail. I see my head in the Jamina boy, Jamina boy, and then Kwana grasa obabe Jamina buo Ae boboe Jamina bue Ae miwiana graso Jamina bue Jamina bue Ene ukwana grasa ya nume Jamina buo Bekwa minem jumasi nambeba minem jumasi Jume yibana bomia masa siya jemitata Nichini mabri koko tisahini ebodomo uyo Jaminebu Bobue ne Jamina bue Ewiye ukwana kurasa obape Jamina buo Ae bobue Jamina bue Ae miwiana kurasa. Thank you.